Hello, 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 viewers around the world. My name is Mark Godwin Juan, and you are tuned in to our Friday News Echoes World Affairs. World Affairs is where we give our global audience the global updates. And I'm here with my colleagues and coordinators from different parts of the world. In faraway Lagos, Nigeria, is our Ogbeni Olayinka Raji. You're welcome, sir. So excited this morning.
Glad to be here this morning. Good morning,
Yeah.
viewers around the world. Welcome to our Friday program.
Welcome to our
morning,
Friday
Mark.
program. Yes, good morning, Ogbeni Yinka. I hope it's the weather is good in your end there. I hope
it rained heavily. It rained heavily overnight. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Up to this morning.
From same corner with you, different part, but same place is BD Nana Diva BD. Nana, good morning. Welcome to News Echoes Global Friday.
Good morning, Massive Mike. Good morning, Saraji. Our viewers all around the world, good morning. Thanks for joining us again. Once again, let's do it like always.
Once again, let's do it like always. And we do it with our man in Toronto, Canada, Sir George Chukwu. Good morning, Sir George. You looking like a schoolboy.
Adult education.
Yes, Sir George, we need to hear you. We need to hear you. We need to hear you, Sir George. Okay, gentlemen, it's good to have you all. Yes, we can hear you now, George. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, viewers from around the world. It's going to be a fantastic show today. Just stay tuned with us and tell your friends to log in.
Tell your friends to log in. Yes, Sir George. Indeed, their friends need to log in because it's a network that caters to Nigerians both home and abroad. And what we do is bring interesting things of interest to our viewers. And we've been doing that impressively. So you guys are welcome. Before we go ahead, let's look at some very fast news updates, like what you call breaking news. One of the breaking news is the Binance founder, Binance Zoe, Chingping Zoe, has become the second crypto executive they've now sentenced. Do you guys have that update? George is coming from America. Crypto man has been given, he says he's going to a maximum of 1 to 2 years under the federal guideline of what the crime he has committed. The crime is money laundering using crypto means. George, do you want to give us something on that? Do you have any on that?
Yes, what I actually saw was that he was sentenced to 4 months. I'm not sure the 1 to 2 years, but I understand that he was sentenced to 4 months in prison. And so whether that was 2 years and then reduced to 4 months is what I don't understand. But this is what we see here, and they're being chased around the world, and a few of them has been jailed because, you know, cryptocurrency, as good as it might be, is a way for a lot of people to launder money, to hide their money, and you wouldn't know what's really going on. So I think they're trying to set an example with some of these people that, you know, they set up Ponzi schemes with this cryptocurrency, but after a little while, if you lose your wallet, you can't access your money anymore, and then all of a sudden they start disappearing and the money disappears. And they took me for a ride too. I lost a lot of money. Up till now, I haven't gotten it back yet. so that's what it is.
That's what it is. So viewers looking at the screen, that is the Binance founder there, Chingpeng Zone, and he has become the second crypto executive to be sentenced to prison. Yes, George, he says 4 months prison sentence was handed over to him after pleading guilty to violating U.S. money laundering law and international crypto. So, Raji, do you have anything on that? Is that coming as a news to you?
It's not news to me. It's not news to me, but as George has said, there are a lot of things that are shady and that are clouded inside cryptocurrency, and there's no control whatsoever from anybody else.
No control whatsoever from anybody else.
Yeah,
BD,
you could use all your money. Yes.
Yes, you could lose all your money. BD, what do you have any news on this? Because you were telling us then that federal government did wrong also allowing these people in the first place in Nigeria, and they swindled a lot of people. Some families are crying now with what they've done to them. So tell us, BD.
The sentence they sentenced this man is not actually directly for money laundering, but for his inability to establish a base for that. That was actually one of the reasons why he was sentenced for this, to establish anti-money laundering program for Binance. Do you understand? His inability to establish anti-laundering program for Binance. That was actually the major reason for sentencing him to these 4 years in prison.
4 months.
And I think he's a good one.
4 months.
Yeah, 4 months. Sorry, 4 months. 4 months. I think he's a good one. And if they should follow it up, it will actually teach a lot of people and tell a lot of people that it's not let's come and drink beer like as usual before. I think what they did is good, and the Binance body too should do something better, knowing that the government or globally they are not comfortable with the way they are running this Binance thing.
Thank you very much. Sorry. Thank you very much, BD. Let's move on to more stories. So we're following that story there. Now this is America. We want to see more hammer come on this Binance company in other parts of the world where they've wreaked havoc. Yeah, George, want to say something?
Yeah, because I just wanted to lighten that, they were saying that it was a lighter sentence, 4 months behind bars, compared to Sam Bankman-Fried, who received a match for $8 billion, that he stole from customers. He received 25 years in prison. So when you think about the lightness of these 4 months, I think it's a slap on the wrist compared to what was handed over to the guy for $8 billion that was taken out of it.
No, I don't think it's a light judgment. I think it's a light sentence. I think what happened to the other guy was actual fraud. But in this Binance case, it's just because they didn't put things on ground to prevent money laundering. It's a different crime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's just comparing the two. One is 25 years, one is 4 years, but it's all related to cryptocurrency.
It's like comparing agbaluma and coconut. They are completely different.
Yeah, the other one was actually a fraud on its own.
Fraud.
The other one was actually outright fraud, but this one was the inability of setting a protocol, a procedure, how things should be done. That's just his own problem here. So it's totally two different things.
Thank you, guys. Let's move on now. Let's look into this thing that happened in the UK on Wednesday. There is an updated photo that has been released of the young man. It's the story of Daniel Anjorin. Daniel Anjorin was killed by a Spanish Brazilian national, and that person has been remanded in prison today, as we're talking. He killed this 14-year-old boy, and he killed him with a sword. And it's a crazy story here. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that's the boy
That's
there.
the little boy that was killed, man.
Yes. So, gentlemen, it's a sad story coming from that part of the world. The British police on 1st of May had to do what they did but they were able to take down the guy, the Spanish Brazilian guy, and but he has done the havoc that he has done. He has killed. That's the Spanish Brazilian national you see in the screen, Marcos Anduni Monzu. Marcos Anduni Monzu is accused of violent rampage in the northeast suburb of Britain on Tuesday using samurai type of sword to kill Daniel Anjorin, and he also wounded 4 others. Now Monzu, 36-year-old, is now being held and in custody and will be facing the law. So, gentlemen, what are you saying? George, what did you hear about this from Canada?
Well, we heard about this. It's such a sad story, actually. And then, you know, what we're hearing is that the investigation is still going on to the motive why he went on rampage. But we believe that it's a mental case situation, you know, which eventually they will bring out the reasons why he went on rampage with a samurai sword and it took a little while before they could take him down. I guess they didn't want to. A police in UK they don't carry weapons like guns. I believe that they used what do you call it
Tasers.
taser, to put him down. So I was watching the video. It was very terrible, and even a couple of officers were wounded with this sword also. But that goes to tell you the frustration that people are going through privately. And physical sickness is one thing, but mental sickness is becoming such a dire situation that masses are dying simply because of that. So we need to kind of find a way to help people out. Even when we hear from friends or whatever, if you have somebody who is behaving unusually, I think it would be best to just call the law, let them deal with that individual, and then prevent such catastrophic happenings, from taking place. Because casualties are increasing in the U.S. all over the place. People are going bonkers.
People are going bonkers.
Yeah.
Bonkers. Raji, how did you see this whole thing? The other story there is the Anjorin with that name sounds Nigerian.
It's Yoruba, yes.
Anjorin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. It's my heart goes out to the family of Daniel Anjorin. I don't even understand how they're going to cope with the loss of such a bright, upcoming young boy.
Man.
Yes. May God give them the strength and comfort to bear the loss. But recently there have been a lot of recently there have been a lot of knife crimes across England, and it's becoming more and more troubling. While it may seem more benign compared with the gun crimes in the U.S., knife crimes are very, very too personal. And I think something should be done to curb that that the incidence of knife crimes. There have been so many knife crimes.
Yes, so many knife crimes. BD,
yes,
the knife crime is ravaging the UK, while America has the gun crime. UK is knife crime. Now, there's a spreadsheet of the statistics. I'm trying to bring that to the screen of the people killed so far by knife crime, too high. And in most cases, they are young Black people. It is the young Black people that are more victim of this whole thing. BD, I know you monitor events. How is this whole thing? Anjorin being killed by a sword by a man he doesn't know coming from school.
Yeah, the 14-year Anjorin, Daniel Anjorin, is a Nigerian who was walking back from school, and he was killed by this Spanish Brazilian national in London. Now, if you check the history, the report, within 2022 and 2023, England have witnessed over 20% knife crime cases. It's been on rampage. Now, for a state that is on top of its work, security, they've displayed to us, they've presumed to us that they know what they are doing. You understand? I don't think I should hear this kind of case because they already know that this is on rampage. And now you made a very vital point. If you look at 70 or let me not over 65% of people who get involved in these cases are blacks. Now, my question is this: why is it predominantly blacks? Do you understand? And you know that this case has been going on in your country. There should be efforts to checkmate it, because this guy did not only kill the Daniel Anjorin, he injured other policemen and a woman that her arm was actually cut off. So a lot of people were injured. So it goes down to the state. You already know that this kind of a thing is in existence. Now, are they trying to tell me now the case they are telling us that is a mental issue? So all these people have been doing this. Are they all mental deranged? I think they should look into this thing and actually understand what is happening. Because to me here, I can't actually tell you what is happening, but there's something we are not getting right here.
Something we're not getting right here.
The fact is that, you know, the chaos is going on. There is a lot of people are frustrated. That's number one. The economic situation in many countries are affecting families. And then also you could see the frustration that is happening around the world, the news. They see what is happening all over the place with the Gaza and the Palestinian Israel situation. So a lot of people are absorbing all of this negative news, and it is affecting them. And when they don't have any particular type of solution, when all this news is coming to them, maybe they don't even have food in the house, or maybe there is a problem in the relationship with their spouses, or whatever the case might be, is bringing this mental case issue on them. And then the resulting consequences, them going out there to do abnormal things that are not normal. And so, you know, I mean, what can the government do? The only thing the government can do is to depend on people. When you see somebody going through, a family member going through such a thing, report them immediately so that we can stop it. Government cannot come into your house and know what your mental case is or how it's increasing. It's not possible. So we have to depend on people when they report this situation, or somebody goes to the hospital or goes to medical center and say that I'm feeling this way. Let's take care of them. The government cannot go into your house and know what is really happening. It is all over the world. It is happening. So that's the only thing they can do.
That's the only thing they can do.
And in most cases,
yes, and on the screen
in most cases,
now. Sorry, BD. Let me do some small statistics here. It says that knife crime in the UK is, in fact, this year. We're still looking at this year, but 2029 was the peak. 2019 was the peak. They had almost 40 cases of knife crime and sharp instrument issues. So knife crime is a persistent problem in the UK, and the numbers are growing. Yes, BD, tell us. You were saying in most cases, right?
In most cases, most people, like Sir George said, in most cases, the people that have this mental issue don't even know that they have mental issue. So it might be difficult for them to report. I think it's where we actually need the people around them, the family member, their friends, like Sir George suggested, to actually, by the time you monitor the person, and you find out that this person has changed in behavior. So you have to make some reports, or even suggest for them. But when you even suggest for them to see a professional, they might not even listen to you. Because like in Nigeria, they say we'll have over 42% of Nigeria who have mental issue. But ask those people that they will tell you it's not true. And it's true. They'll tell you it's not true, because what we assume to be mental issue in this part of the world is somebody who is roaming the streets. They don't know that man who is well dressed on suits, it can have a mental issue. So it's not a big problem on our hands.
It's not a big
Well,
problem
I,
around here.
I think the
we have to
problem,
understand that mental issues come in different categories. Somebody that is very depressed, or somebody who is frustrated over situations that is so to the point of even experiencing suicidal thoughts. These are also part of mental issues, and so it's difficult for to just turn in a family member only when they become violent or begin start behaving in an unusual way that might endanger other people's lives. But you see that a lot of families are not willing at the very beginning to call the law into to come and take care of this thing, simply because maybe that person is going in and out, especially it's schizophrenia and then bipolar situation. Some of them are mild, but some of them they go to the point of being a danger to themselves or to others. So these things are very dire, but they can be monitored. That's why a lot of people, like you said, many people will think that they're thinking normal when what they're doing or what they're thinking of doing is abnormal. So we need to check them, checkmate them, call the law, let them check the person out, and ensure that they're not going to harm themselves or harm others.
Sorry,
Thank you, sir.
and in our situation, there's also the stigma that comes with being considered mental, because a lot of people will not want to be. A lot of people need psychiatric evaluation, but that
I'm telling
psychiatric
you.
evaluation is equal to being crazy, and that stigma is something that nobody wants to have.
I'm gonna share
Raji
something
has
with you
said it.
real quick.
Raji has said
Let
it.
me share
So,
something with you
honestly,
very soon.
that's actually
Hold on a second.
Nigerian
Hold
mental
on.
problem.
I was in Nigeria. I was visiting Nigeria, and jokingly here, you can tell somebody, a child can say, "Daddy, you're crazy," and then it's nothing because they don't consider it a mental issue. So I was discussing with a young man, and I just say something like, "I say, you're crazy, man." And
That's crazy.
this guy took this thing serious and wanted to fight me. It's
You
like,
take
"What,
offense.
sir? You say I'm crazy? What do you mean I'm crazy?" I said, "No, I'm just joking." "No, you don't joke like that." And that is how serious what Raji is saying is. If you open up your mouth and say something like you're crazy to somebody, they're willing to kill you. And that was exactly what happened. So a lot of people that are misbehaving, even when you mention that word crazy, they will lose their mind. They'll literally.
Thank you very much.
So,
Yes,
on a
Didi.
funny side, still very serious and funny side, I have a friend who was telling his younger brother that he thinks that younger brother requires psychiatric evaluation. Now the younger brother reported to me that his elder brother is calling him mad, and I asked the younger brother, "Look, what is the dignity? What is the gain in your elder brother calling you mad? Eh? Don't you realize that being said to be the elder brother of a mad person is not a compliment? So please, so
Thank you
listen."
very much. Okay. Anyway,
Yeah,
the sad news is this young 14-year-old Daniel Anjorin has that passed on, and just
it's
for
very sad.
nothing, careless, wicked, uncontrolled people walking the streets, and the Brazilian Spanish Marcos Monzo has done this evil.
Okay.
So we are our condolence to the family of Daniel Anjorin. We hope, apart from doing this all the time, we hope the British government will really look into this mental issue case and knife attacks that has become rampant in Britain. Thank you, gentlemen. Let's move on now. Let's move on to other stories. We want to look into some issues that somebody here just wrote a message on. Somebody says, One World TV says, Hamas Israel conflict. So I think what he's trying to say is for us to dive into it. This morning, Turkey halts trade with Israel over humanitarian tragedy in Gaza. What I found out is Turkey and Israel used to have a big trade going on. As at last year, they had business trade going on that was worth $7 billion. And the Turkish trade minister said those measures will be closed for now until Israel allows a flow of aid to Gaza. So this is coming this morning in the news. Gentlemen, you don't want to lose your business partner because of war. I mean, business sustains a country. Income makes a country. And when Turkey now has a business that's about 7 billion with Israel, and now he says he's halting that business, I think Israel needs to consider. George, what do you think?
Well, there are different facets of this particular story here, because we saw the response from Benjamin Netanyahu, talking about the Turkey leader also, all the atrocities that he's committed. But the historic aspect of it is when Turkey was one of the first countries to recognize Israel in 1949, when they first became a nation after 1948. And then they have been having some issues every now and again. But what came out this particular time is that Turkey is basically supporting Hamas.
Yes.
And that's why Israel is not happy. But when it comes to the aid that they are using as an excuse, to halt the businesses and all that kind of stuff, reports have come out that most of this aid that is being given to these people are being hawked on the streets. They are selling the food. They're not giving it to the people. Wrong people are picking up this food and displaying that food and selling it for money. So, it's just a catch-22 situation where you don't know what to do. Now, the food is being sent, and the ones that are arriving, people are now taking advantage and selling it to the same people that you're supposed to be giving the food free of charge. So the problem here is that the world is in a chaotic situation concerning these two things. Still, they are coming to a close where there is a resolution on the table that if Israel accepts it and Hamas accepts it, maybe they can have a ceasefire for 4 months while they negotiate this whole entire thing. And that will involve releasing all the hostages, the ones that are still alive, and possibly exchange of prisoners and stuff like that. So, but this is where we are coming to right now. So in essence, really, Turkey might be losing because Israel is now moving forward, because what they have are needed around the world. They can find other partners to sell their food to. So, but I think that it's just crazy. You see it happening in the US, in a lot of schools are now going bonkers, and students are no longer going to school. They want to just go out on the street and camp on the street, and then the people outside, are coming into these universities and using the excuses of this rioting and destroying facilities and stuff like that. So I think it's about time for a resolution to be reached. But the problem we are seeing right now, as you see in Gaza, is that Benjamin Bibi is insisting on going to Rafah.
Okay, thank you, George. George, good update.
That's the problem there.
Yes. So the picture we saw earlier is a picture of the Turkey prime president. That's Erdogan, and Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Reggie, you have been following all of this too. Trade between the two countries, they say, is worth $7 billion. But the Turkish presidents and Turkey people say they are stopping that trade going on. Mr. Netanyahu responded that Erdogan committed genocide against the Kurds. Remember when Turkey did that against the Kurdish tribe? He says, so he doesn't hold any, he shouldn't make any statements on what is going on because there was a genocide against the Kurds. That's what Benjamin Netanyahu is responding to.
That would be the reaction of an evil mind, of an evil man. Just look at the situation in Gaza as it is today. More than 200,000 buildings have been demolished. More than 1 million people are at the verge of starvation. What is happening in Gaza is a serious humanitarian crisis. That should not even be open for any discussion about a ceasefire.
Okay.
The ceasefire should have happened as far back as December. People are dying on a daily basis. Bringing out the genocide against the Kurds is very, very silly of Netanyahu. Because he's an evil person. He's very evil.
But if also that happened, I mean...
Please,
okay.
we are talking about now.
Okay.
Bringing in the Kurdish genocide as a justification of whatever is evil. It is like the Jews bringing in the Holocaust as a justification of what they are doing in Gaza. We should stop that. Let us look at the story as it is now. 1 million people are at the verge of starvation. More than 200,000 buildings have been destroyed. There are no hospitals anymore in Gaza. More than 30,000 people, majority of them children and women, have been killed.
Let me ask you something, Raji. Raji, I want to ask you something. Raji,
go on, ask.
We're talking about madness, and craziness and all those type of things. Let's just say, for instance, that you have, hypothetically though, you have a person who came into your compound and was able to
go to hypothetics.
Hold tight.
No, don't let us go to hypothetics. Let's just go to the reality on the ground.
You can pass judgment on what this man
said. Let us go with the judgment on the ground.
You allowing me to talk, or are you going to continue interrupting? We'll just excuse me.
Let us go to the situation on the ground.
Let me finish what I'm saying, so you can stop interrupting. It's very rude. It's not good. Okay. So I'm asking you a question. If you were to be in Israel's shoe today, when you know that everyone around you wants to annihilate you permanently, and they are working on it, and they came and did what they did, would you want to allow them to regroup again and come against you? Or would you want to eliminate that mess and go to the root cause and destroy it? Because it's so easy for you to stand and pass judgment on people. If one of yours was one of those hostages that are being held by these people or killed in that place, would you be saying the same thing? So let's pass fair judgment here.
I'm not going. I don't want to go into hypothetics. When you ask me,
I am telling you like it is. I'm telling you like it is.
Let's go to the reality on the ground.
Gentlemen,
can I say something?
Okay, Bidi, go ahead. Then we'll go on a small break. Go ahead, Bidi.
Now, going to the hypothetics or going to what is on ground, that's actually why this problem is still lingering, because you cannot solve any problem without going to the roots. Do you understand? Now, if you remember, Turkey already, like in 2010, they broke their ties with Israel. So coming up to say this, people like us are not surprised because we know we know where they belong. Do you understand? And now trying to say that you're going to stop 7 billion naira contract just because there's a war and no ceasefire, that's not the best way to solve this problem. You understand? So what you're saying that you're going to war, what this means imparably is that you're going to war with Israel. And that's not the best way to solve this problem. Because the minister has said it, their trade minister has said it, that as long as this starts, that they are not going to continue this trade with Israel. And you know what that means? Do you understand? Okay. So that is not actually the best way to solve this problem. If they want to solve this problem, they know what to do.
Turkey would rather not have blood money. Turkey would rather not have blood money.
Thank you.
Let us be clear about this. 1 million people, please. 1 million people are at the verge of starvation. 1 million people.
Yeah,
man.
Everybody condemn that. But the way they are trying to stop this is not the right way. 1 million people at the verge of dying. What started it? Now, let me tell you, Gaza, they started this thing because they were override. If they did not, Israel did not override them, we won't be saying what we are saying now. I'm telling you, because they started this fight. They started this recent phase of what is happening now.
Thank you, Bidi. Bidi, gentlemen, good one. Let's go on a break. Let's chill out, have a glass of water, and come back on the other end. Thank you for.
Yeah, you need more than water. You need palm wine to cool down.
Call us now for your clean and perfect inverter and solar installation. Electricity availability in Nigeria is not constant, due to its erratic supply. A perfect inverter installation will provide you a full power control in your office or home while our so-called PHCN remains the best. Call us now for your clean and perfect inverter and solar installation. Electricity availability in Nigeria is not constant, due to its erratic supply. A perfect inverter installation will provide you a full power control in your office or home while our so-called PHCN remains the best.
Viewers, you're welcome. You're tuned back into SSM our Friday World Affairs. Thank you, Sir George. Thank you, Benny Raji and Diva BD. Other things are also happening around the world. Let's smile a little. Let's smile with this news of a Nigerian woman. Yes, a Nigerian woman that has painted nails for 3 days, and she's looking at setting a Guinness World Record. Yes, Guinness World Record is coming for one of our sisters, one of our daughters. She's called Lasha Dokar, a 19-year-old lady from Jos Plateau, one very beautiful part of Nigeria. She embarked on a 72-hour nail painting, and she's been doing that for some time now. So she's going to, what they're doing now is going to the assessment. Guinness Book of World Record, GWR, will have to review her attempts, all she submitted, evidences and everything, and therefore be able to ascertain if she has qualified. So, gentlemen, I want us to smile. That's why I'm bringing this up. I know it's tensed a little. Biddy, you're a lady.
Yeah.
How do you feel? A lady is trying to break a record for nail polishing, fingernail, adorning the fingernail with blue, pink, purple, varnish, and she's been doing it for 3 days.
First, congratulations to her, because every effort is an effort. Congratulations to her. I'm happy for her. She has achieved her aim. She desired and she has achieved it. Now, apart from that, please, I want to educate Nigerians. Guinness World Record does not pay anybody. Whatever thing you're doing it for yourself, for fun, for visibility. Because the way Nigerians are dragging this paper now, this book, we are about tearing this book. It's becoming too much. Maybe probably one day I'll come and do a break news for the presenter who will talk for hours. No, we are abusing this thing. Honestly, I must be frank with you. Waiting now. We are all actually abusing this. Everybody wants to break the record. We'll soon tear this record, though.
Anyway, but in this girl's case, it looks like a sweeter reason. She's a nail technician, and she's been working professionally for 3 years now. And she says she wants to use this to put northern Nigerians in the spotlight. She's from a part of Nigeria called Jos Plateau. Yes, it's actually central Nigeria, not really core north, but that is one state that people neglect to I mean, most times we don't really look that side, and
No,
it's been.
Yeah, I like her
said that
reason. I
a couple of times.
like her.
The
I like her
the
reason.
point is this.
Okay.
The
Okay.
point is
So
this.
go ahead.
The point is this. We should not discourage our people in any way whatsoever. The world has been clamoring over these things, and they have been winning in different areas. But now Nigeria is emerging because we're waking up to the international things that are happening internationally. So if we have those, the willpower to do things like this, let's go for it. Because if you look at statistically, the people that have occupied those space in the Guinness World Book of Records, Nigeria was nowhere to be found. It was only recently that we started seeing, and then people thinking that it is possible, we can do it. And you see different facets of people coming from different areas, trying to claim something. They know that there is no money. There might not be any financial reward, but the name is out there, and it makes us proud. So we should not, discourage them. If you have your own, you can talk for, if you want to talk for 1 week, non-stop, no sleeping, let's do it, BD. Let's break that Guinness Book of Records too, because we want you to be out there. We want the name of Nigeria to be on top. So there is nothing wrong with that. I encourage them. If you think you can, go for it. Win it and put us on the map again.
Put us on the map again. If you think you can, go for it and put us on the map. George, that's a good one to say. A call up to action. And of a truth, I want to also support you on this. Nigerians have taken to this. Africans have taken to this. Not only Nigerians, Africans are also trailing behind. And it's not bad, because one thing about such things is it puts people on the map, really. And it also it gives you one sense of achievement. I've done this, because the Guinness Book of Records is there. The company is there. That company is there, and if you don't do it, somebody else might do it.
Somebody will do it.
Do it. Go do it if you can.
That's right.
We're also here in SSM to support anybody that wants to have a live coverage of what they do. And we also want to encourage people to do, but don't do the ridiculous one. Don't do the out of crazy type. I mean, somebody said she wants to have sex with all men for days. That's crazy for me. My hand George, my hand.
There's a book of records for that too. There's a book of records for that.
No, the book of record is Solomon. He's still the winner up to now.
Solomon still the winner. SSM will not join you to do anything of such. We are not with you on that. Okay, guys, let's go on. Our man from Russia is not here, but there is something brewing in from Russia, from Africa and Russia. The new political relationship and diplomatic relationship between Russia and Niger is blossoming every minute. What we saw yesterday is that Niger has told Americans, the citizens came out to the street to tell Americans to go. And they said, Russia, we love you. And, this was live videos we saw on Al Jazeera. So Russia and U.S. troops also have been operating in the same military base, crazy as it may sound, but that's what is happening. And that's the picture you're seeing there. Now, what America is doing is almost like forcing itself to be in a country that say they don't want them again. The Nigerians say we don't want. So, but they are opening their arms to Russians, and they are asking the Russians to come in. In fact, a lot of things we're seeing yesterday, as we saw the video, was showing some real new relationship with these two people. So let me start with you, George. America has been made, all kind of humiliation, go. But their talk still there.
You see, the reason why they're still there is simply because, number one, the same reason Russia went to war with Ukraine when they wanted to join NATO is the same reason America is very concerned about Russia coming into Niger, simply because if they camp over there, and just the proximity between Nigeria and Niger Republic and the relationship is so mingled that US is basically concerned over Russia camping in Niger and being able to eavesdrop on the whatever intelligence that is being passed through Nigerian relationship and the US. That's number one. But I mean, a lot of countries, this is their choice. They're going to allow Russia to come in, because Russia comes in very in a stealth. They don't come in with force. They come in, allow you to be who you are. They don't want to force you to do anything, change your culture, your tradition, which is fantastic. Now, I have seen China mingle themselves with many countries. And up until today, we don't know. When they come, they open their arms and give you money. They bring infrastructure, they bring their money to build a lot of things. There are many countries in Nigeria, and this is not very well known, public in Africa. There are many countries in Africa that are actually being hijacked by China today. Their seaports, their airports, their airports are now being controlled by China. Why is that? They bring that money, they give it to you, and then when you're unable to pay the money, they will take all those infrastructure, and they will take it for many, many years. So this is something that many African countries need to pay attention to. Study the history and understand this, the strategies these people are using when you want to allow them to come in. Because some of them, when they come in, eventually, it's going to become dire for these nations.
It's going to become dire for this nation. Viewers, what you're seeing there is a picture yesterday of Nigerians. Niger is not of Africa, and they are saying, U.S. Army, you must leave, move, vanish. They were using all the words to describe they don't want them anymore. And but the U.S. is still standing strong. What we saw yesterday was a funny one too. We saw that Russia, US were in the same military base, and it looks ridiculous. So, Raji, US presence in Niger, will it change things for good for the Nigerians? Will there be some form of improvement in their economy, in the life of the people, like this think they are asking for now?
You mean Russian presence?
Yeah,
of course, there'll be some difference. Whether it will be an improvement is still for us to see, but there will be some changes. Like you mentioned before, you see, most of Western European and American presence in Africa has been through violence. And then certainly, like George said, when the Russians come in, they come in as your allies. Same with the Chinese. And whether they are going to take over your resources later is still a matter of time. But it's better for you to know that this man came in as a friend. If he now came in and he's now taking over your resources, then it's up to you now to be on the guard to be able to prevent that.
To be able to prevent that.
You see, can I say something? Can I say something? You see, one of the major problems we are having now, we still have this beggarly mentality. We have all the resources that they need, but we refuse to collaborate with one another in Africa to put it together, a consensus that a common level of understanding among the nations, so that we'll be able to deal with our external continents. But what is happening is Russia will come with a lot of wheat, and then you eat, like Esau will eat away his birthright. And then all of a sudden, China will come with a lot of money, open arm. How much do you need? I'll give you an open check. Take, go. What do you want to build? Let me bring my people there. And that's the way they begin. And why is this happening? Because of mismanagement of resources. Our leaders are so myopic and blind to the point that they don't look in the future. They just want to enjoy themselves. If I eat today, I die tomorrow. Let the people suffer. It doesn't matter. But we need to have visionary leaders, not these people that are just clamoring, just want to enjoy themselves and want to become, Ayatollah of Nigeria, Ayatollah of another place, dictators and all that sort of kind of, situation. We need to wake up as a continent. collaborate and get together with one another. You know, because
Anyway,
they're dividing us. This same sentiment has been happening during the
Yes,
colonial era.
Thank you, George. PD, let me put the question first. The thing now is, yes, Russia is penetrating, and we might see such things. We might see such relationship replicate around. Soon it might be Mali, more it might be, you know, all of these African countries doing the same thing, driving America away and opening arms to the Russians. But do you think this will work for Africa, BD? Is it not for, like George is saying, for Africans to realize themselves than just having a relationship with this West?
It will work for the Western world in Africa because it's been working for them. If you look at the air base there, the Russian flag, the American flag, they don't have issue there because they know that you are the source. So don't bother me as long as I'm not bothering you. They are in Africa, they are in Niger for business. Do you understand? They don't have a problem. Now, it is not left for African leaders, the Nigeris, to think, to have the ability to negotiate. The problem an Africans has been having all over the world of a century is that they don't have the capacity to negotiate. And most of their negotiation is not actually futuristic. They negotiate for today. They don't negotiate for years to come. And these people that are coming, they are coming for years to come. They are not coming for today. That's the problem Africans has been having. Now, it's not a matter of who is there. Is there America? Is there Russia? No. Look at the most important thing. You that is the source. Are you futuristic? What are your strengths of negotiation? Are you negotiating into the future? If the Nigerians are not utilizing this opportunity of being futuristic in their negotiation, they will still end up the way they ended with US. It will still be the same thing.
US.
It will be the same story. They will still remain the same place.
Wow, BD, you put this one so right. Thank you. One man that's good at negotiations is Dr. Godwin Ibe. He does that for the Nigerian community in Russia, and he's here to negotiate more with us. Dr. Godwin, you're welcome to News Echoes Friday World Affairs. How are you?
Fine, thank you. So much work. Sorry, I could only join at this time.
Yes, I use the word negotiation for you because you run the Nigerian community in you lead the Nigerian community in Russia, and that involves you at every point in time negotiating, doing things, getting right for your people and for your community. But now, on a larger scale, Russia is coming to Africa through the Nigerians, and their arms are wide open for Russia, and they are telling America, shoo, 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 you go away. I know it's your country.
But before you continue, I want you to look at that. Look at that picture. That picture is doctored. It's not really nobody. You know, it's just a crowd of people with that thing there because nobody is holding it. It's just something that is put there. So you know, I don't know how you know how real that news is because this is something that somebody just pasted on top of a crowd of people over there. Just continue.
No.
Look at it.
It's not Photoshop, George. It's real.
Listen.
It doesn't look real.
It doesn't look real. It is not real.
No, it's from Al Jazeera.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't look real.
You can do that and post it on YouTube or paste it somewhere else. Put a crowd of people and put that in there. So don't you know? I know when I see fake, I know this is what I do professionally. There's no hand there. No.
Even the perspective is wrong.
Massive Mark. Who is not real. There's no hand there. There's no hand.
The perspective is even wrong.
Anyway, I can see. Look, I can see a hand holding it. I can see the hand
there
holding
is no hand.
No, there is no hand holding it.
Sorry,
there is no hand.
But anyway, I'm not interested in the reality of it. I'm not interested. It's not really so. I mean, while I could see the hand, but it's not so important now. What is important is it reflects reality in terms of the diplomatic relationship now in Niger. And it's not just Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, South Sudan, many of these
Guinea.
Sahel countries, yes, there are arms open to Russia. And well, that's a good thing. I've always maintained that Africa is open to everyone. Africa does not exclude anybody, whether it's America, NATO, EU. We want to utilize all the opportunity for cooperation that we can use. But it just turns out that at this point in time, Russia is the one that is giving them what we want in Sahel region, and is coming at the back of disappointment, frustration on the lack of progress when EU and the US and NATO had their chance, and the result was not satisfactory, and they have decided to explore other options. As I speak to you right now, as at yesterday and today, there are lots of the Russian corps or the advisors are occupying the same base that the US was using. That they're staying in the same quarters, and they are, yes.
That's what we said earlier.
Yes.
We said earlier. They are staying in the same base, the same facility,
in the same base. But we also see the reception of people. And I hope that they will use it to really fight corruption, education, and to move their cause forward, because we're not interested in just optics, but in real tangible results that move Africa forward.
Thank you very much.
I know we have time.
What the Nigerians have done is far more than that thing you're even saying that it's fake, and they've done loud mass street or movement.
Yes. Can I say something? Listen to this. When you study international relationships with different countries, and especially with these superpowers, one thing that you are seeing is public is just a reaction. They're not responding because they are putting solutions where it doesn't even. They're looking for solutions when the problem is within the soil. You see, one of the major problems, we're clamoring and we're going after this country or after that country or after this country. The major problems we are having is still within us.
Yes.
If you don't change the narratives and the conversation within, and change the mentality and the belief system within, it doesn't matter what country comes into you. They will use those leaders, abuse those leaders, and still the common people will still be suffering. So we need to really come together as a continent and begin to change our mindset from this beggarly mentality. Look at India, for instance. Elon Musk went to India and wanted to start exporting, bringing in, his electric cars there. Do you know what? They are still delaying it simply because they say, come in here, build your factory here, build your battery factory here, assemble those cars within us, give us jobs, and then we will allow you. We will give you, some concession when it comes to taxes. So these are people that are powerful, mentally powerful, and their leaders are leading them. I told you, India has taken over from China, and China is shaking on their boots now.
Thank you, George. Let's talk a little of business. Talking business, like George just started. As at this morning, Google is laying off about 200 of his core workers, and is going to India. What George just called now, Google is going to India India, Pakistan, and Mexico to source for workers, because they know that these workers will not be paid as much as their core team were being paid. So it's actually about cheap labor anyway, but they know that the technology is with India, Pakistan, and all these countries. So that's the business news we have there. This morning, Google has laid off 200 of his team, his workers, and
is it there 200?
India, Pakistan, and Mexico.
700.
700 this 700 morning. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
even small.
Okay.
I was expecting like 20,000.
Yeah, no, they'll cut more by the time it goes on. But we are also adding to what George has said about people building themselves, people equipping themselves with skills. And Nigeria, Africa, it's time for us to do this.
We need to wake up.
build
It's
up
time for
Africa.
us to wake up.
Yes,
If we
gentlemen, let's
don't
go
wake up,
also
we're
to something
lagging behind.
Yeah, something that is also crucial this morning. There's an outbreak of a variant, a new variant in Congo, and the fear is it might spread through Africa if it's not checked. So, Dr. Godwin, there's a new variant of Mpox that has been discovered in Congo. Mpox, that's a picture of the hand of somebody that has it. The new form of Mpox has been detected in Congo. Scientists say it's spreading easily among people. So far, 4,500 suspected Mpox have been reported, and the World Health Organization is declaring it an emergency. And the fear is it doesn't escalate throughout Africa because we don't have much sanitary plants in Africa. Dr. Godwin, what do you know about the Mpox?
Well, Mpox means monkeypox.
Yes, monkeypox.
Yeah, it's a variant of the smallpox. It causes the symptoms you saw, which include rash, scars. I'm surprised we still have it now because it's spread through animals and people, So usually when there's hygienic problems with livestock farming and sanitary conditions of livestock, then obviously we have all this kind of what you call zoonotic diseases. So hopefully we'll have to look into the hygiene, the vaccines, and curtailing isolation, being able to isolate effectively. And that has to do with the healthcare infrastructure, for example, amount of hospital beds, amount of wards to isolate highly contagious patients.
Thank you,
and of
Dr.
course,
Godwin.
symptomatic treatment that is required.
Okay, thank you. That's a good one. Let's begin to wrap it up now. Business talk. This sounds a little bit funny, but it's what's going on as of this morning. EU threatens the production of kebab. Kebab is that food we eat. I don't know if they have it in Africa. Now there's an outrage in EU, whole of EU, because there's a proposal to force all the slice of meat in the kebab to be exact same thickness as Brussels wants it. So the beef and the lamb will be sliced horizontally with a thickness of about 3 to 5 mm. And it's a serious issue, gentlemen. So this is the business news we're getting from our headquarters, Brussels, in Belgium, and they say they want the food to be to go global. You see, because Turkey wants EU to protect the kebab and keep it as a tradition for Europeans, like we have with the pizza. The Italian pizza is also one delicacy in Europe. So now, for it to be protected, the EU Brussels has said they have to conform to the format of serving it to the to eaters. So that's coming on our business news. Anybody has anything to say before we close?
Actually, that's so laughable because of all the important issues going on in the world today, this is where they have stooped so low to control the slices and the thickness of it. That's so stupid. Come on, people.
So yesterday there were protests in Brussels over this. Can you imagine?
Are you serious?
I think it's for a weekend humor.
Huh?
It's not humor. It's real.
Listen, we need to come to Nigeria and ensure that all the slices of suya meat will be the same thickness. Can you imagine?
You put a ruler to it.
Not this. Europeans. When I say European, I mean Western Europe, France, Germany, Spain, Malta, Italy, all of these countries here in Western Europe, they are particular about their health. They are conscious.
Exactly. That's humor. They are looking out for their people.
Yeah. So
no, how is that? There are more than 1,000 pieces of kebab. So you put a ruler to it, or put this what you used to use in physics.
No, the thing now is they want to control in such a way that the meat is not too much, And
What is the connection between the thickness and looking after people? Please tell me. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I just want to know, what is it? There is none, no connection. I can decide to eat.
Okay, listen to the connection.
Yeah.
When people eat right, Europeans, like I said earlier, are particular about health, eating, and all this. They are very. It's an issue here.
It has nothing to.
So what is the connection between health and thickness?
There's no connection, because even if you're slicing it 1 inch or 2 inches, if you slice it 1 inch, I can decide to eat the same quantity, the same pounds. If you slice it 2 inches, I can decide to eat the same pounds. It don't have nothing to do with that. This is just frivolous, concentration on mumbo jumbo that doesn't need. They need to wake up and stop that nonsense.
Tell us,
BD, please tell us. What is I asked a real question. I'm really interested, curious. What's the connection between thickness of kebab and health?
Now, when the thickness is like, it gives you more nutrients. Now it should be bigger. Once you get small. But when it's lighter, it's small. It's like getting.
But it can be wider instead of thicker. But it can be wider instead of thicker. Volume is length times breadth times height. Volume is length times breadth times height.
No,
now you people need to know that why Europeans are bothered also about this is the pizza, the kebab brings in 3.5 billion income to Europe to the production.
Yes.
So that's a big business. It's not. I mean, this is.
They don't have the. They may as well.
There has to be administration on it. There has to be.
If I remember my mathematics,
it's so stupid. It doesn't make
use a caliper to check the thickness.
So, sorry, just 1 minute. If I remember my mathematics well, a volume of cylinder is 4/3 pi r cube. Is it not so?
Yes.
What?
All right, gentlemen, guys, listen. We've done it. I know it sounds ridiculous. That's why I said.
Is it wokeness on the kebab level?
Wokeness.
What you guys are laughing over is a serious issue in the headquarters, Brussels.
I can imagine how serious it is.
That's it. It's a function of not having anything to do.
Well,
yeah, that's why there's a lot of protests against EU.
But George, you might not know this because Americans don't care about food. They want to eat as much as they can. But here it's an issue. We are very.
Let me tell you, it's individual decision to choose how much they want to eat. Whether you slice it to be so thin, 0.5 millimeter, or 1 millimeter, somebody can decide to eat the same quantity. It doesn't matter. I mean, what is this? It just doesn't make any sense. Let them concentrate on bigger and better things than this nonsense.
They'll not look at the size of lettuce.
France should not hear about this. France shouldn't hear about this. Because they already have a long list of reasons to protest. You not add another one. My God.
They will go.
All right, guys.
No. Very soon you come to lettuce and tomato sizes.
Until we come your way, keep eating our African food. African food is the best. If we don't slice,
no measurement.
We eat it's called soul food.
No measurement.
Very nourishing. The soul food gives you soul.
And the suya is amazing. The taste with the peanuts and all that.
All right.
Yes.
Bye, guys. Have a beautiful.
Have a nice weekend, guys.
Great weekend. Viewer.
In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes is Africans in diaspora and back home leading English news network.